Well, I just climbed up the hill after spending 2 nights at the inn at the Long Trail. Great experience. Highly recommend staying at the inn at the Long Trail if you're up this way at all. Whether you're hiking or not, it was really a nice place. Had to climb up the hill on the Shearborn Pass to get up here. It's about half a mile and about 500-foot climb. All good. Now that I'm at the saddle of the pass, it's much easier now. Looking forward to my 18-mile day. I don't know what I was thinking when I planned 18 miles, but I did. And I got to stay on the schedule now so that I can hit my hut reservations in the Whites. Hope your day is going great. I'm definitely blessed. So the trail brings you into Gifford Woods State Park. Look at this lovely campsite there. And separated by all this distance and vegetation before you get to the next one. Really nice. Even I could camp here. This park even has its own shelter for AT hikers. Wow. This is pretty nice. Right outside the town of Killington, Gifford Woods State Park in Vermont. Like I said before, this is a great park. Here's campsite 5 with hostas getting ready to bloom right at the entry number. How cool is that? A bike repair station, an air station, water, volleyball court. Boy, if I owned a camper, I think I'd be staying here in Vermont. Oh yeah, I really think Gifford Woods State Park is the bomb. How cool is that? And if it was a little warmer, I could get in there. But it's only 9 and it's 62 degrees. Not right now. Well, it's true. All who wander are not lost. Some are looking for cool rocks. And so the AT planners were kind enough on this trip to bring me by every cool rock that they could find. This one's pretty nice. And here we are at some more cool rocks. Look at that one. It's got ferns growing out the top. Awesome. Yep, you guessed it. Another cool rock. This is called Thundering Falls. Looks beautiful. It was worth the walk. It's 10:30 in the morning. I got about 14 miles left to go for the day. The next challenge is to get up there. It's only 1,500 feet over 1 mile. I feel crawling in my future. Yep, that's right. The AT planners brought me to a cliff. Doesn't look like there's any real safe way down. Looks like I'll have to take the ladder. Oh well, I've done ladders before. But then once I get down, then I gotta go back up. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I finally made it into Winturi's shelter. That was 18 and a half miles. It's way too many. It was tough hiking also. I went to the shelter before, but there was a homeless guy living in there. I was there for about 10, 15 seconds. He's wearing a COVID mask. I was like, oh, nope, gotta go. And I stood up to walk out, and he's like, hey, you got any money? And I was like, I'm gone. Other hikers tell me he claims that he's been hiking the Appalachian Trail, and basically he's just living off of hikers. I had no idea you could live off hikers because I don't carry any extra food. Basically, he's like, oh yeah, I'm out of cash. I don't have any food. And so everybody takes pity on him and gives him whatever. And then I guess eventually he goes to the next shelter or whatever. I don't know. Poor guy. I didn't stay long enough to figure it out. But I'm ready for today. Today I am off to Thistle Hill. 12 miles. Yay! And much, much better. There is Mount Ascutney. Yeah, barely there in the distance. I hiked all the way up here for the viewpoint. But I get to check out all of this really cool swamp milkweed. with pink flowers. Boy, there's a lot of it. I'm sure the monarch butterflies will enjoy. Getting to walk through some ferns today. I just had to show some of these off. They are taller than I am. That's my kind of sign. 9 o'clock in the morning, 6.5 miles to go. Here I am walking along, minding my own business, walking through this lovely spruce forest. Then I go around a corner, and oh, I get to hug the hillside because, yeah, if I make a slip, it's gonna hurt. I guess I'll be careful. I didn't get to clean up last night. Usually I get to wash up a little bit. So I guess I must stink pretty bad because Mother Nature's laid out this great car wash for me. I get to walk through this. It's soaking wet from the dew. I'm wet, my shoes are wet, and I'm completely clean now. I still smell, but hey. I've got across this creek now. I've got decisions. Do I use a steel cable there? Or do I walk across these? The last step, I've got that limb in my way. I'm gonna have to figure this one out a second. Well, I came down a hill and walked into this small town of Hartford, Vermont, and hey, they're having a farmer's market. So I got to get some treats for myself. And then this nice house here, they put a big AT sign on the blue barn, and I get to stay in their backyard. So here again in Hartford, Vermont, I got to come down and watch the show and clean up a little bit, swim around some. So I feel much better now. It was a hot one today. Looking forward to getting into New Hampshire. 10 miles left. Here we have a little maple tapping going on. Tap the maple tree, flows downhill by gravity and collects down over there. That's pretty awesome. And then they can pick all that up and go off and boil it. Actually, it goes way down the hill. Wow. So this morning I get to walk along this nice forest road lined with these classic New England rock walls to separate the fields and to separate the road. This is actually a road to a copper mine, and this area was settled in 1802. Wow. That means those rock walls are pretty old. I'd say they've held up pretty well. You know, it's the easy looking stream crossings that are really so hard. Because then you get complacent, like, oh, I can skip over that. And then you're like, oh yeah, that one's covered with a bunch of moss. That would be slippery. Almost got me. Almost, but not quite. Here I am cruising along, minding my own business, looking at the trail. Then you see a nice pile of rocks. My brain goes, what's with the pile of rocks? Turns out that's a blue blaze, so that's the trail down to the creek. The AT takes a sharp 90-degree turn and goes that way. Thanks, whoever built this. Making progress, passing another interstate. Well, there we have it. This is the Connecticut River, and I am done with Vermont. On to New Hampshire. This is the Dartmouth Green. I think every college campus ought to have a large green space.